Hello, children. The last lesson. This is the first chapter in your book, Flamingo. The story is narrated by a French boy, Franz. He is lazy but sensitive and likes to play. He dislikes studying French and hates his teacher, M. Hamel. After overpowering the districts of Alsace and Lorraine in France, Berlin was ordered that German language instead of French be taught in the schools there. So, it is the last day of their French teacher M. Hamel, who has been there for 40 years. He is full of grief, nostalgia, and patriotism. As a mark of respect of his hard work, the village men also attend his last lesson. They are sad as they did not learn their mother tongue, French, in their childhood. Franz is shocked to know that it's his last lesson as he does not know French. Now, suddenly, he gets interested in learning it and understands everything taught on that day. He develops an instant liking for the teacher M. Hamel and respects him for his sincerity and hard work. He feels sad at departing from him and is ashamed for not being able to recite the lessons of participle. M. Hamel tells them that they all are at a fault for not being eager enough to learn, putting it off to the next day. He blames himself for not teaching them sincerely. His patriotism is reflected in his praise for the French language as being the most beautiful and the most logical language in the world. He tells the class to guard their language as being close to one's language is the key to escape from the prison of slavery. It will help them in getting free from Germans. They realize the importance of learning their mother tongue and they have been defeated by the Germans because of their illiteracy. France feels that it is not possible to take away one's language from a person as it is natural to each being. May it be the cool of to the pigeons or French to the Frenchman. Now just start the chapter. I started for school very late that morning and was in great dread of scolding, especially because M. Hamel had said that he would question us on participles. This means that the narrator of the story is a young school going boy named Franz. That morning he was scared as he was late for school. Also, as their teacher M. Hamel had announced the previous day that he would test them on the topic of participles. And Franz did not know anything at all. He was more scared of being scolded. Then, for a moment, I thought of running away and spending the day out of doors. It was so warm, so bright. The birds were chirping at the edge of the woods, and in the open field back of the sawmill, the Persian soldiers were drilling. It was all much more tempting than the rule for participles, but I had the strength to resist and hurried off to school. This means that Franz had another option in his mind to miss the school and enjoy the day out in the warm and bright weather. He describes the scene that there were birds chirping on the trees and the noise of the Persian soldiers doing the drill behind the sawmill could also be heard. It was all much more tempting than the rule for the participles. But I had the strength to resist and hurried off to school. In this scene, outside was more attractive, more beautiful than the school, but Franz controlled the temptation and chose to attend the school. When I passed the town hall, there was a crowd in front of the bulletin board. For the last 2 years, all our bad news had come from there. The lost battles, the drafts, the orders of the commanding officers. And I thought to myself, without stopping, what can be the matter now? As Franz walked past the town hall, he noticed what he noticed? He noticed that a huge crowd at the notice board. The war with the Persian had begun 2.5 years ago, and since then all the bad news like losing the war, occupation of Alsace and Lorraine by the enemy, Persia, etc., had been communicated by the people through this bulletin board. Franz kept on walking towards the school and thought in his mind that what news could have been put up at that board now. Then, as I hurried as fast as I could go, the blacksmith watcher who was there with his apprentice reading the bulletin called after me, "Don't go so fast, bub. You will get to your school in plenty of time." I thought he was making fun of me and reached M. Hamel's little garden all out of breath. As the little boy Franz walked hurriedly towards the school, he found the blacksmith who was also reading the news and had come along with the trainee called out the Franz from behind and said that he need not go to such a hurry as there was plenty of time for him to reach the school. Franz thought that the blacksmith was making fun of him as he was already late for the school. When Franz reached the garden outside the school, he was out of breath as he had walked very fast. Usually, when school began, there was a great bustle which could be heard out in the street. The opening and the closing of desks, lessons repeated in unison, very loud with our hands over our ears to stand better, and the teacher's great ruler rapping on the table. Now, Franz describes the usual scene of the day. At the school in the morning, a lot of noise created by the moving of desks, children repeating their lessons, and teachers striking the tables with their rulers could be heard. But now it was all so still. I had counted on the commotion to get to my desk without being seen, but of course, that day everything had to be as quiet as Sunday. That day, that day was unusual as there was no such sound coming out of the school, and it seemed that the school was closed as it used to be on a Sunday morning. Franz had planned that he would take cover under the commotion and reach the class without being noticed, but that did not seem possible. Through the window, I saw my classmates already in their places and M. Hamel walking up and down with his terrible iron ruler under his arm. Now Franz peeped inside his class and saw what he saw. He saw his classmates seated and M. Hamel, their teacher, walking in the class with the ruler made of iron placed under his arm. Franz feared a beating. I had to open the door and go in before everybody. You can imagine how blushed and how frightened I was. Now, Franz was ashamed of being late and feared also. Feared a scolding as he had to enter the classroom in front of everyone. But nothing happened. M. Hamill saw me and said very kindly, "Go to your place quickly, little Franz. We were beginning without you." Franz found it strange as M. Hamill did not say anything and, on the contrary, politely asked him to get to his seat as the class was about to begin without him. I jumped over the bench and sat down at my desk. Not till then, when I had got a little over my fright, did I see that our teacher had on his beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt, and the little black silk cap, all embroidered, that he never wore except an inspection or prize days. Now, Franz hurried to his seat. After some time, when he overcome the scare and become comfortable, what he noticed? He noticed that the teacher had worn his best embroidered that day. The teacher normally wore it on occasions like inspection or prize distributions days. Franz wondered if that day was a normal day. Then what could be the reason for M. Hamill to wear this special dress? Besides, the whole school seemed so strange and solemn. But the thing that surprised me most was to see on the back benches that were always empty, the village people sitting quietly like ourselves. Old Hosser with his three concerned hat, the former mayor, the former postmaster, the several other besides. Now Franz felt that the atmosphere in the school was unusual, very serious. To add to it, the last benches of the classroom were occupied by the senior villageman like Hosser, who was wearing his three concerned hat, the retired mayor, postmaster, etc.